Job. He's joining us live. This morning he's at St. Alphonsus in Boise. Hey, Jay.
Good morning, you guys. Yeah, we have always tried to find people that are up early and working already, and you'd be amazed how many people are working at St. Alphonsus at this time every morning. We are joined by Judd King, who has a fancy title, but we're just going with lab supervisor because I couldn't figure out what the other one was. What was your exact title?
I'm a point-of-care coordinator.
Point of care coordinator. All right, now it makes more sense. Because I actually am sick. You guys made that joke. I've come up with something in the last couple days, so they're actually going to kick me out here really soon. But they're all gloved up, so everything's normal. Tell me what's going on in here. Kind of let's walk. Show me what's going on around here.
So this is our chemistry department, and we do all kinds of different chemistry testing in here. We have a robotic automation line that sends samples and loads them on the instruments for us.
So how long, like how much is this working throughout a normal day? Like how many tests are going through here?
We do about 6,000 samples a day.
A day? There's that many sick people in this area?
Well, there's a lot of preventative medicine in there too. So people going in for checkups or wellness appointments and things like that. Like when you get your lipids checked and your thyroid checked and your PSA checked, that's where it all ends up.
When we say tests, how many different things are getting tests? I mean, obviously blood. Everyone's probably gone in for a urine test. I mean, what are the kind of things you guys are testing?
Blood, urine, body fluids. We'll see some areas where they process biopsies later. Lots of, basically, if it comes from the human body, we'll process it.
And for the most part, this place is pretty much all automated. So we are going to check out some of the really cool machines. I can't push any of the buttons because, well, they would like for the rest of it to work the rest of the day. So we're going to show you some more of the cool testing that's going on here throughout the rest of the morning on Good Morning Idaho. But for now, we'll send it back into you guys.
You're waking up with today's 6 on your side. Good Morning Idaho.
It's Wednesday, everybody. That means Jay has left the studio, but he's still working hard for us somewhere else in the valley.
He is on the job this morning, and he's at St. Alphonsus Hospital today in Boise. Jay, what are you learning this morning?
Good morning, Jillian, Spencer. Yeah, we're learning quite a bit about things way more technical. We have biomedical freezers. We are standing in front of the Unicell DXC 800, which I think if it gets up to 55 miles an hour, can take you back to 1955. At any rate, we're here with David Gans right now, who is a med tech. What is this machine that is hard at work right now actually doing?
Right now it's running tests for mostly morning run things, the normal labs that doctors order that they want to see values for every day on inpatients, electrolytes, other blood chemistries.
We were talking to you a little bit earlier, and you were kind of telling us you're one of the people that keeps things running smoothly. How difficult are these machines to work on? Like, how often do they break down, or, you know, what's involved in maintenance?
Well, I do daily maintenance, then there's scheduled maintenance a couple times a week, and then different ones for every week and every month, every 6 months, every year. A lot of preventative maintenance just to make sure that the lab values you get are actually accurate values.
Accuracy would obviously be a big thing. We talked about the automation. One thing that they were telling me earlier, there's 30 different barcode readers so that you can keep the tubes straight from the start all the way to the end. How many different stations are there all along this?
There's 4 instruments, 2 DXCs and 2 DXIs, and then a stockyard here that stores the samples for about a week under refrigeration, and if we need to pull a sample, it can automatically pull it from this robotic refrigerator.
So if Eric can show you, way on the other end of the room over there is where the tubes will start, and then they come and they finish up over here.
Yeah.
About how long is it from the start to the finish?
How many feet?
Well, no,
or
like time, I guess.
Time, well, it depends on the tests, but oftentimes, you know, if it's just standard things from the ER, probably about a half an hour, but any more comprehensive tests that you might get on your normal yearly visits, 2 hours maybe.
Wow. All right, and we were telling you earlier, 6,000 different patients per day. So if there's 4 tubes per patient, let's do the math there. That's how many tubes a day go through this place?
Well, what were the numbers again?
It's 6,000 patients a day, and how many tubes a patient?
24,000 then, yeah.
That's got to be over 1 million people, like, every year.
Oh, yeah. The sheer volume that runs through this is crazy.
And what time do you get into work?
5 o'clock.
Whew, you guys are working hard here. Your job is much harder than mine. We're going to have a lot more. We're going to get into a little bit more of the testing. We're going to show everything from, they were cutting pieces of skin off. That's going to be fun and interesting. Thanks, you guys, for this on-the-job assignment. We'll send it back to you guys at the studio.
Yeah, don't cut your fingers off, Jay. Uh-oh.
Whose skin are they cutting, though? That's what I'm worried about.
We'll find out.
Cool stuff. Smart people, too.
Yeah.
Somebody since really early. The Fox is on the job this morning. He's been on the job since really early, the 5 o'clock hour, and there are other people up at the same time we are, believe it or not.
Yeah, especially at St. Alphonsus in Boise. That's where he's at the hospital this morning. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning, you guys. Let's get all the Transylvania jokes out of the way. We're in the blood bank. All right, we're joined here by Beverly, who is a 19-year veteran of the St. Al's. Have you always worked in the blood bank?
No, just in the last couple of years. I was generalist before that, and then hematology specialist before that.
So basically, she knows what's going on around here. So tell me, I mean, this is it. This is where Dracula comes to hang out.
This is where Dracula comes to hang out, giving blood to people, though, rather than taking blood from people. Red Cross gets to take it.
In case, all right, so let's start there. Somebody goes in, they donate blood to the Red Cross, then what happens? Where do you guys fit into the pipeline there?
Hang on just a second while I get that alarm.
Oh, you see that? And look, we're working hard this morning. Alarms going off. All right.
Red Cross collects blood, makes different pieces of blood. They take it apart so that different parts can be utilized by people. Some people need just red blood cells for oxygenation. Other people need to stop bleeding. Not to have the red blood part only, but to have the part that stops you from bleeding. Most people don't realize that there are a lot of what we call factors that stop you from bleeding. One of them is platelets, the little greasy gap stoppers.
Right.
They are a piece of a cell plasma that sticks together and clogs up and makes a scab.
Yep.
Whether it's on the inside or the outside.
That's right. We're talking about scabs at 6 a.m. on Good Morning Idaho. You don't get that on every morning show. Tell me, you know, I imagine when somebody says blood bank, this vault of blood, how often does like a sample last? You know, I mean, you can't just like put it in a freezer and keep it forever, right?
Oh, yes, you can.
Really?
Yes. There are people who have special protein problems. And because everybody has proteins on their red blood cells. That's what the A or the B is when you have blood type A, blood type B, when they talk about your RH factor. Those things are proteins that are on your red blood cells. So if I have blood continually, like patients who have sickle cell anemia or thalassemia or some other red blood cell problems that are hereditary, or they are cancer patients undergoing chemo, radiation, things that knock down their bone marrow so that they don't make
You can potentially keep their blood for all time, just for them.
It's not their blood, it's someone else's blood for them.
All right.
Yeah.
One of the many cool things that we are learning so far this morning. So we've got a lot more to come. I know that we're finishing up here on Channel 6, but we're going to jump over to Fox 9 and we'll continue from St. Al's throughout the morning. We'll send it back to you guys.
Oh, man, I get woozy just thinking about
I was
that.
just going to say, is it getting a little squeamish in
yeah.
It's true, Danny. They say that I will live, which is probably not the news that you were hoping for this morning, I'm sure. We are at St. Alphonsus. We're here with Angela. Where are we?
We're in the coag hematology urinalysis department.
Can you spell that?
Let me see, I have to write
No,
down.
I'm just kidding. All right. So big fancy words for what exactly do you do?
In this department, we monitor coagulation testing, so anything for anticoagulants such as Coumadin, warfarin, heparin. We also do urinalysis testing that'll kind of detect if you have a kidney infection, bladder infection, things like that.
I think I just recognized one of the words that you said. That's pretty cool. Yeah, kidney. I know where those are. So all these testing, what would be the example? Why would a doctor order some of this stuff?
Especially for the coag testing, patients that are out there on Coumadin, you don't want them to be at risk of bleeding excessively. They want to be in a therapeutic range, so they come in pretty much monthly to be monitored. Instrument over here that we do, we monitor hemoglobin A1C for patients that are diabetic.
Which one's that one? I want to see it.
This one right here.
Okay.
So it monitors hemoglobin A1C. It just kind of checks the progression of if people are diabetic, what kind of how their body's responding if they have a high A1C.
And then you mentioned urinalysis. Pretty much everybody has already taken a drug test. Is that the stuff that comes through here, or what else do you do with it?
We will pour off urines for drug screening. That's more of chemistry department, but we'll test. So again, if you're expelling glucose in your urine, white blood cells, bacteria. So we'll see all that underneath a microscope, which is pretty cool. And then that'll tell us, if we need to send it over to microbiology. So we work in tandem with a lot of departments. Send them over to micro to have them culture them to see, if you're growing anything.
How long have you been doing this? How'd you get started?
About 10 years. I went to University of Delaware and just kind of fell in love with the lab. I'm a complete lab rat, so it's been a lot of fun.
Technically, you would be a lab hen, right?
I guess so.
All right, there you go. See, Delaware, I got it. All right, we got much more coming up from St. Alphonsus a little bit later in the show. We're going to visit one more section of the lab, and we'll show you what happens when you slice skin very, very thinly. That's coming up a little bit later.
With Fox 9 on your side. Good Morning Idaho.
Welcome back, everybody. As is typical on Wednesdays, Jay is live out in the community. He's talking to people who are up at work early at these crazy hours, the same time we are.
And there are a lot of people out there, including the folks at St. Alphonsus in Boise. Good morning, Jay.
Hey, how are you guys this morning? We're in a pretty busy area. Stacey Charlton's going to join us now. I don't even know where we're at. We're in a whole other room than we've been at all morning. What is this?
Histology.
Histology, which is what?
It's the study of tissue.
I feel like that's been the whole thing this morning. Someone will say a word and then I ask for the definition because I have no idea what it is. All right, so we've been kind of promising this all morning. Can you describe what exactly it is that Eric is showing us?
That is cutting tissue for putting on a slide.
When you say tissue, what do you mean?
Tissue, like skin, biopsies.
Ooh! Ooh! Anyway, why do they need these on the individual slides? What would be the purpose that they're going to have for each of these?
It's the study of disease.
So each individual one is going to show you as far down as the cellular level. Is that what we're kind of talking about? What are the things that they'll then look for on these slides? Like what kind of diseases are they going to be able to help with these?
All the way from fungus, bacteria, to cancer.
Wow, that's a pretty wide range there of the different things. There's kind of a whole process where you guys take the tissue to the point where you're using a really fancy mandolin. I bet you guys can make a really mean salad with those things.
Probably. Who would want to try after tissue's been on there?
Yeah, you have a good point there, I must admit. About how many samples are you guys going through in a day?
It depends. How many cases? We've had almost 5,000 cases this year.
Just this year?
Just this year.
That's a pretty large number. How long have you worked here?
5 years.
Yeah, do you love it?
Yeah.
You told me you like working alone. Are you excited that we're here this morning?
No, not really.
I knew that was going to be the case. Well, thanks. You've been a good sport for showing us around, telling us what histology is. There you go. I've learned a new word today. All right, that's it from St. Alphonsus. We've had a great time all morning. Remember, you can see all of this stuff if you missed some of the other ones coming up on our website later on today, IdahoOnYourSide.com. We'll send it back to you guys.
I learned a lot this morning.
Yeah, I learned a lot about the weird things that Jay thinks of when he's seeing skin sliced up. It was strange, though, because it kind of looked like a deli
even
slicing,
say it.
like you get your
Don't
ham
say
cut at
it.
the grocery
Dad,
store.